"Shall you go then, Albert?" asked Franz. "Ma foi, yes. Like you, I hesitated, but the Count's eloquence decides me." "Let us go then," said Franz, "since you wish it. But on our way to the Piazza del Popolo, I wish to pass through the Corso." "Is this possible, Count?" "On foot, yes. In a carriage, no." "I will go on foot then." "Is it important that you should go that way?" "Yes, there is something I wish to see." "Well, we will go by the Corso. We will send the carriage to wait for us on the Piazza del Popolo, by the Via del Babuino, for I shall be glad to pass, myself, through the Corso, to see if some orders I have given have been executed." "Excellency," said a servant, opening the door, "a man in the dress of a penitent wishes to speak to you." "Ah, yes," returned the Count. "I know who he is, gentlemen. Will you return to the salon? You will find good cigars on the center table. I will be with you directly." The young men rose and returned to the salon, while the Count, again apologizing, left by another door. Albert, who was a great smoker, and who had considered it no small sacrifice to be deprived of the cigars of the Café de Paris, approached the table, and uttered a cry of joy at perceiving some veritable puros. "Well," asked Franz, "what do you think of the Count of Monte Cristo?" "What do I think?" said Albert, evidently surprised at such a question from his companion. "I think he is a delightful fellow, who does the honors of his table admirably, who has traveled much, read much, is, like Brutus, of the Stoic school, and, moreover," added he, sending a volume of smoke up toward the ceiling, "that he has excellent cigars." Go with me on this thought, if you all will. I don't know where it's going to lead. It's just something that occurred to me while reading today. Dante, his betrothed Mercedes, have a bond, had a bond. He cherishes her, and maybe in some way is looking at Albert as the offspring he never had. And I don't mean that in that he's looking at Albert as a son, but looking at him as more of a aberration in that you shouldn't exist. My child, who I could not bring forth, does not exist because you exist. Well, maybe it's not a one-to-one, but all of this carelessness and this vanity in Albert might be salt in the wound of Dante every time he sees him. And I'm going to stop myself there from speculating as to what that could mean and what Dante might be doing with all of that. But it just occurred to me that's like, if you're Dante and you are going out of your way to put yourself in the path of your betrothed's son and the son of your enemy, both, that it's not just going to have a mechanical function to your plan. There's going to be an emotional element to it as well. I wonder if it's almost, whether consciously or unconsciously on Dante's part, him fueling his anger and vengeance. Instead of going directly to Fernand to confront this, he is basking and luxuriating, in his mind, unnaturalness of Albert's existence. Albert presents a sort of sliding doors reality for Dante. And another question just popped in my head, but see, it's a speculative question, and that's why I don't like to go down these rabbit holes too much, because suddenly I'm wondering, well, after everything Dante has said about an eye for an eye and proportional justice and all of that stuff, do we start to fear for Albert's life a little bit? What is Dante willing to do to Albert to get back to Fernand? I think I might have even asked that question before, because in harming Albert, he would also be harming Mercedes. But we haven't been in Dante's head, so I don't know how he feels about Mercedes now. Does he feel betrayed by her? It'd be nice to know a few of these things. Another kind of thing that is easy to overlook here. The servant comes in to interrupt, saying that there is a penitent at the door. And Dante says, "Oh, I know who this is. Would you excuse me, gentlemen?" But, well, let me back up for a second and just, if you didn't know, like I didn't know, what they're referring to as far as a penitent, in this context, I believe that it is referring to like a member of some sort of religious sect or brotherhood, particularly in public processions. So this would make sense considering it's carnival. But a question that I'm flagging to kind of track moving forward is this really someone of a religious order, or because it's carnival, is it someone dressed up as one? Could this be Vampa? Could this be part of Vampa's crew? Could this be someone, his intermediary, that brings the information between the prison and him? Remember when he was meeting in the Coliseum, saying that he pays someone $1,000 a year to give him info? Could this be that person? I'm just asking. So, like, I don't know that we're in a place to take things for face value right now. I'm looking at every new turn in this story with squinted eyes and an upturned face going, I'm not sure I can trust you exactly. But it feels, do you feel it as well that like we're right on the cusp of something? This is all leading toward something, and I don't know exactly what. I don't even think we'll get to it by the end of this chapter, but it feels like this Franz and Albert situation is finally opening a door that's going to get us into another section of this book. So why don't we just continue here tomorrow with a little bit more of chapter 35. Until then, okay, goodbye. The Countdown of Monte Cristo is part of the Gruntwork Podcast Network. This show is produced, edited, and hosted by Landon Solano. The original text of The Count of Monte Cristo by Alexander Dumas. Theme song by Magic Solo. If you want to support the show and others like it, visit patreon.com/gruntworkpod. Thank you for listening. See you tomorrow.